I used to drink alcohol, and alcohol would treat my disease, and it would make everything okay in the day I was in. And and today I can't drink anymore. It just doesn't work. It's not a solution for me anymore. It's become a problem. And so so I can't drink, but I still have alcoholism, and I still have the mind. I still have this unsatisfied, fault finding, opinionated mind that's always in a hurry and can't stand the word no, and is easily frustrated and doesn't want to read the instructions but wants everything to come out right. And I want to know how everything ends. I have a business call today at 1:30, and it could be a really nice business situation for me. And but I don't want to wait till 1:30. I want to know now. And so I talk to myself about it, and I try to figure out how it's going to go at 1:30. And in the talking to myself, I go crazy because I can't possibly figure out how it's going to go at 1:30 at 9 o'clock in the morning. There's no way. The people aren't there, but I'm talking to them. I'm having full-blown conversations with people that aren't in the room. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I think that's perfectly normal behavior. And I'm talking and I'm arguing and I'm finding fault, and they're not doing it my way, so I tell them another way. And I have I've had probably 4 meetings today already with the same people. Because my mind tells me, if I could figure this out, if I could figure it out, then I could be at peace. If I could figure out what I'm going to say and what they're going to say and how I'm going to answer and get it all figured out, then I'll be okay later. But in the meantime, right now, I'm completely screwed up because I'm having fantasy conversations with people that don't exist, that aren't here, and it's killing me because the disease is very tricky. It says, yeah, let's practice what we're going to say at the meeting. Let's get it right. Let's start. And so I invite everyone to the meeting and I start talking to them. But it's so weird. It's my mind and it's my conversation. But in my mind, the conversation never goes right. And by the end of the meeting, I've lost everything. And I'm completely hopeless. And I might as well kill myself. And I haven't even had the real meeting yet. And that is what's wrong with me. This self-talking, unsatisfiable, fault-finding, opinionated mind. Now, if I do this long enough, I will get into enough emotional pain where I will need some medicine. I will need some kind of antidepressant, some kind of medicine to make me feel okay again. From the disaster that I had this morning, that was only in my mind. It never happened. But I feel that, if I get in enough emotional pain talking to myself and people that aren't in the room, I'm going to get to a place where I'm going to need to drink some alcohol or take some pills or smash my head into the wall or put a bullet in my head or do something to kill the pain. And the pain, 99% of it is made up. It's fictional. And when I do a 4-step and I go back through my life and I look at my life and I really look at my life and I really look at the situation and what happened and what my mind told me what happened and what really happened. And I start to see the delusions that I live by, the delusions, the lies that I tell myself that I believe are true. And I start to see those through the format of the 4-step. And also through the help of another human being that can look at my 4-step and say, what are you talking about? That's not what happened. And I get to start to see who I really am. In how it works, it says, those who do not recover are people who cannot or will not completely give themselves to this simple program. Usually men and women who are constitutionally incapable of being honest with themselves. I am constitutionally incapable of being honest with myself. When I have a conversation with a person that's not in the room, I believe that conversation was true. And since it didn't go well, I believe that my life is troubled, that I'm screwed, and that nothing ever works out for me. And I'm incapable of seeing that that wasn't even real. Because to me, it was real because my mind told me it was. And I believe whatever my mind tells me. Because it tells me in my own voice, and I'm sure that I'm the only one I can trust. But my experience shows me that trusting myself, my best thinking got me into a meeting of Alcoholics Anonymous. Oh, that hurts. My mind is warped. There's something wrong with me, and it's not alcohol. And I have to see it, and I can't see it, because if I could, my head would explode. So I get a little bit at a time. One day at a time, I don't drink. One day at a time, I stay sober. One day at a time, I go to a meeting. One day at a time, I read a little bit of stuff out of the big book or the 12 and 12. And I start to slowly crack this mind open. Is it okay?
Yeah, the arrow's pointing at your chin and it was...
Claire's finding fault.
I'm finding fault, yeah.
Thanks, Claire. Thanks for looking out for me. Okay. I have a disease. I have a disease. It's called alcoholism. It's not alcohol. I'm alcoholic. I have that problem. I'm alcoholic. When I put alcohol in my system, I have an allergic reaction to it, and I break out in blackouts and crashed cars and trashed relationships, and I say crazy things, and my personality changes, and it's crazy. So I am alcoholic, but alcoholism is what happens to me when I stop drinking, or when I don't have alcohol. When I don't have alcohol as a solution to my problem, the alcoholism kicks in. And my mind starts. And it's so uncomfortable to live in my mind. It's so painful. And then I get to walk back into the steps, and it says in 60 to 63, it says, being convinced I'm at step 3. Okay, so I've admitted I can never drink alcohol again. And I can see that when I drink, my life is unmanageable by me. Drunk, I cannot manage my life drinking because I crash cars and I trash relationships and I do all kinds of weird things and I can't keep jobs. And then I go to the second step. And as far as alcohol is concerned, Alcoholics Anonymous taught me how to not drink. They said, if you don't want to get drunk, you don't take the first drink. So I don't take the first drink. One day at a time, I don't drink no matter what. And I get some relief. And I also, they told me to pray. Now I didn't have a relationship with a higher power at all, or a God or anything. I actually hated God and everything that religion stood for. And I have a lot of prejudices when it comes to that kind of thing. So it's very hard for me. It was very hard for me to even think about praying, but my sponsor said, okay, just do nature and pray to a tree. I'm like, okay, I could pray to the beauty of a tree. So tree, could you help me not drink today? And you know what? It worked. That tree that I prayed to every day, I could see it in my mind right now. I was living in an apartment in Miami, and right outside there was a tree, and I could see the beauty of the tree, and I would pray to the tree to help me not drink today, one day at a time. And that was a beginning. That was the best I could do at the time. But I didn't drink. And so eventually, I put together some time, and I wasn't dying of alcoholism. And I thank that tree. Thank you for keeping me sober. Thank you, nature. I kind of opened it up a little bit from the tree to nature. And thank you for whatever created nature that seems to be helping me not drink. And it was a beginning, and I was able to do that. And then they said, and then my sponsor said, now we're going to do the third step. And I said, okay, because I'm in AA and I'm not drinking, and it's time to do the third step because my sponsor said so. And we got on our knees and we prayed the third step prayer. And I said that I'm willing to turn my will and my life over to the care of God as I understood him. But it was very clear that I had no understanding of God. None. I did not understand. I only understood that when I asked nature to help me not drink, something happened and I didn't drink. Whoa. Can you guys still hear me? Hello?